Yeah. Did you see any slide here?
Yes.
Hello? Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Fine. This is related to the existentialism. This is related to the existentialism. What are the features of existentialism? Yesterday I stopped here. I completed the unit, but except this concept, the concept of existentialism. Existentialism in the heart of darkness. It's there in the page number 131. Page number 131, existentialism. These are the features of existentialism. For example, if you look at this slide, human free will, contrary to determinism. That means there is a free will. Existentialism means existentialism is focusing on a free will. Each individual human being is fundamentally alone. Each individual human being is fundamentally alone. Human nature is chosen through the life choices. Human nature is chosen through life choices. A person is best when struggling against their individual nature. A person is best when struggling against their individual nature, fighting and struggling for life. Society is unnatural and its traditional, religious, and secular rules are arbitrary. Arbitrary means just spoken, it's a vocal words. Personal responsibility, that means ability to respond, and self, not policed. Self and discipline is crucial. For example, ability to respond and discipline, the personal discipline is crucial. Worldly desire is futile as the world is illusion and progress is delusion. These are the basic features or concepts of the existentialism. So same, these kind of features are available, or else seen in the page number 9.9. Sorry, page number 131. Page number 131, 9.9. That there is it explaining the characteristics and features of the heart of darkness is also one of the theme. Existentialism is one of the theme in the heart of darkness. So this is what here discussing through the different characters. So these are the basic features of the existentialism. And please write that this may be an important question since it is a 20th century novel in the modernity. Uh, this is also one of the important concept, existentialism. So that's why I told you to look at it. And now in today's class, the next block, This black is Unit 10, Introduction to 20th Century American Fiction. Introduction to 20th Century American Fiction. This is the Unit 10 and Block 4. In this unit, we have three topics. One is the introduction about the 20th century American fiction, as well as two important novels from different time periods that reflect and represent the American attitude and American ideology and American people's behavior and the contribution of the American literature to the area of core literature. These things are there. We are going to look at it. Now we'll look at on page number 139. Page number 139. It's a introduction. In this introduction, we can see what is this American fiction. American fiction. In this American fiction, three important things are. One is the lost generation. One is lost generation, and another one is Harlem Renaissance. Lost generation and Harlem Renaissance. These two things are very, very important when we look at the American literature. About these things, it's there on the page number 141. Page number 141, 10.3.1, the lost generation. 10.3.1, lost generation. Lost generation. Before that, we'll look at one concept. So, what is this American fiction? Why it is so special? Why it is so special? Because everything is a literature. English literature means English literature is a literature. Why we are specially calling it as an American literature? When we look at in such type of question, when we answer to such type of questions, American fiction is a body of a fiction literature written in English in the United States of America. With its humble beginnings in the 17th century, American fiction was under varied influences over the following centuries. It was initially comprised of non-fiction works written by British migrants and settlers who lived in the colonies that would later become the United States. See, America was also a colony, was ruled by it was ruled by British people. Then later they got the freedom and the country became an independent country, and later it emerged as a United States of America. That time they have written this the political pamphlets and Hello, hello. Is my voice audible?
Yes, sir. Hello.
Oh, what happened? I have been speaking for a long period of a time. Where did I
Sir, your
stop?
voice is not coming since 15 minutes or like 10 minutes.
Really? I don't know this.
Yeah.
Okay. Where did I stop my voice? You tell me just please.
Unit 10 introduction, sir.
Oh, from there itself it stopped, huh? God. So I didn't introduce this introduction to 20th century American literature. The topics of this what is American literature, the lost generation, Harlem Renaissance. Did I? Did I speak about them?
No, sir, you are
Okay,
just
sir.
giving
Yes, sir.
introduction of that chapter name.
Okay, that's it. Okay. Okay. Anyway, I'm coming back. Anyway, I'm coming back. Thank you. Please respond. Well, I'm talking about the unit 10. This unit 10 is giving an introduction to the what is American literature and what are the main concepts and main themes in American literature, and why we are calling this American literature as a special genre or a specific study. Anyway, literature is literature that is written in English. I mean, it's an English literature. Why should we call it as an English literature? What is the speciality of this nation and of this American expression? Such things are going to be discussed in this unit. And earlier, the country America, is also was a colony ruled by the British people, and they are also struggling with the British people to get the freedom and independence. When they got the freedom and independence, they started their journey. During that period of a time, there was no much literature developed, and during that period of a time, it was a missionary organizations and the freedom fighters. They wrote pamphlets and essays. This was the literature that they had it, and there was no development of the novel, short story, and other poetic forms. Most of the writing is related to encourage the people to participate in the freedom struggle, or else uh, to give the instructional material through the sermons, Christian sermons, the church songs. This was the literature they had it. But later, during the period of the 19th century and 18th century, and these people started writing and changed their themes and the topics. One of the major change in this development is called Transcendentalism. Transcendentalism is a philosophical movement that allowed the people to choose different kind of topics, choose different kind of topics uh, to write the novel, short story, poem, or essay, or any other literary art forms. There are going to be many experimental novels that started to talk about their lifestyle in the American language and American expression. And meanwhile, the development of the literature during this period of a time before the 20th century literature, before the 20th century, this was the period of a civil war, especially United States of Civil War. This information is available on the page number 140. Unit 10, I am talking, Swati. Unit 10, page
Yes,
number
sir.
140.
Yes, sir. Got, sir. Thank you.
Page number 140. Fine. And this was the literature. This was the literature that was talking about the adventurous literature, especially the themes of American literature. The racism is one of the important theme because there is a Afro-American slaves were there. It's called as a slave narratives, and American people as a pioneer. They consider themselves as the pioneers. Adventurous literature, another one. For example, if you look at the Mark Twain, he has written The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. It talks about the adventurous nature. Adventurous is one of the frequently recurring theme, and racism, loneliness, loneliness, alienation, racism, isolation, and gender, feminism. These are the important topics that were slowly carrying forward to the 20th century. And during this time period of the 20th century, America is slowly emerging as a nation, as a independent nation, as well as a powerful nation. A powerful nation. That American nation is built one psychological or philosophical idea called American dream. Whenever you have a question, whenever you have a question uh, about this American literature related topics, you should always mention American dream. American dream. What is the American dream? American dream means it's not the dream in the sleep. American dream means better, richer, happier. Better, richer, happier. If a person want to be a successful person, they want to become a better lifestyle and rich people and happiest people. So these three things are involved in the American dream. So that means they are giving utmost priority to the human individuality, human independence, and that liberal attitude. It is encouraging. Many people wanted to achieve this kind of a American dream, and at the same time, when you want to achieve this American dream, you need to achieve something. The word success is behind this American dream. If you are not a successful person in American market or in American society, you will not considered as a good person or a great person or a considerable person in the society. So the success comes through the richness, the success comes through the status. So this kind of marketing strategy that was a driving force Is my voice audible now? Hello,
Yes,
is
sir.
there anyone? Yeah, please
Yes, sir.
respond.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because
Yes, sir.
frequently there is an interruption in the internet. Please.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, this was a trend at that time during the 20th century. And earlier American fiction was dealing with a different kind of a themes, this American modernism, Modernism as a broad concept is marked by reforming break from the Enlightenment thinking and traditional structures of the past. When it comes to the American literature, please remember this: modernism is a broad concept, is marked by a reforming break from the Enlightenment thinking and traditional structures of the past. The modernist era questioned everything that came before it. That means everything, whatever the existing ideas that are coming towards them, they are challenging and questioning, interrogating, and investigating. This was happening during the early 20th century in American literature. American writers began to break away from the emotional and idealistic aspects of literature and started focusing on describing and analyzing the human psyche in their characters. So this is a very great development, especially in American literature. They are focusing and interpreting, analyzing the human character and especially the human psychology through the different characters. So that is why their characters in American novels that represent the ongoing circumstances, ongoing struggles, ongoing psychological conflict. These things the characters will reveal everywhere in the American novels, especially in the American fiction. So in this direction, we'll look at two important things, two important themes in the major changes in the literature are the one is on page number 141, the lost generation. One lost generation, other one is Harlem Renaissance. Lost generation and Harlem Renaissance. The lost generation is a movement. The first moment of the early 20th century involves a group called the Lost Generation. The term was coined by Gertrude Stein and it refers to writers, artists, and intellectuals that came of age during or immediately after World War I. This is very important up to here. They were mainly influenced by the consequences of the World War I, which were personal disillusionment, restlessness, and the loss of old values. Several of these writers became expatriates moving to Paris and London in their quest for a richer literary and artistic milieu. A richer literary and artistic milieu. This generation of writers was lost in the sense that the values that were passed down to them were no longer making sense in the post-World War era. So that means these people are the post-World War I. That means the early 20th century. After the First World War, the writers, whoever the emerged, these people lost the old traditions and practices, methods, and the values. They created the new things, new kind of a generation ideas, and those ideas are passing to the coming generations. So they with knowing and without knowing, they stopped thinking in the older formats of the human behavior and thinking because here one important thing that these people started thinking in a new direction, in a new direction to represent the upcoming how to say new generation and the upcoming values. They anticipated the upcoming values in between the gender, in between the social and political, as well as in the culture. Everywhere they changed and give a
Like
new perspective to
thoughts?
the
Sir,
thoughts.
like thoughts, sir?
Like thoughts. In everywhere they have given a new dimension to the existing things, and this new dimension is not providing the base. What is the base? For example, today we are here, we are continuing a heritage, a cultural heritage, what our forefathers did, what our fathers did, parents did, and what we are carrying them. Though we are living the so-called modern times, the technical era, still we follow something like that. Even though we bought a modern, ultra-modern Apple laptop, we do perform a puja for that. This is the performing a puja for new thing, for a new machine is a old tradition to us. But
Traditions.
the new, old tradition, old tradition, age-old tradition for us. And but when it comes to this is the new age development, technical development that changed the human face. Even though for that device, new American device, we are doing the we are performing a puja for that to to honor that device. So that means that is the tradition that bounds us. Even though we changed ourselves into the modern times, we never relinquish or leave the old traditions, but we are doing it in a different format. But when it comes to the America, they are not doing the same. They forget about the old things and started the new things. So that is why here, especially not everyone, a couple of writers. So they forgot everything and they created the new base for the new generation, upcoming generations. So that is why here it is called the lost generation. They lost the values, they lost the traditions, they lost the old practices. So that means the upcoming generation will brought up with the new ideology. Those people who are interested in this modern ideologies, modern lifestyle, they will not think about the past. They will think only the present and the future. So such kind of development was there, especially this is related to the human relations, the wife and husband relationships, such kind of things. Because of these, the novel name here, the Ernest Hemingway, The Sun Also Rises in 1926, Farewell to Arms. These are very, very important things that is discussing about the lost generation. And another one is here, Harlem Renaissance. This Harlem Renaissance is an important topic for you in examination point of view. There will be a compulsory question if I'm not wrong. Harlem Renaissance, please underline that. It's there on the page number 144. The Harlem is a place. Harlem is a place. Harlem is a place where it is in the Harlem is in the place. And Harlem Renaissance means there is a new development. Yesterday we spoke. The Renaissance means the rebirth. There is a new generation. New thought process will start. Harlem is a place in America. They in this place, in the 1920s, in the 1920s and 1930s, that time, wherever there is the African people who are there, the African people who are started writing their own experiences, especially the black people, black Americans, the Africans who are living in America, the dramatists, painters, singers, novelists, poets, whoever they are, they coming together in a place called Harlem. And there they discussed about their future and their future writings. What should we write? And when we are in America, we are considering as the slaves. Though we are slaves, still we developed our own identity by doing something. But here we are not either connecting to the American culture or else we are not connecting to the African culture. We are in the midway. So which way should we choose? Which identity should we select? Such kind of existential crisis and political crisis, intellectual crisis, they were discussing in a place called Harlem. So that is why when they gathered and discussed there, they decided their future plan, what to write in their genre of literature, poems, dramas, essays, fiction, short story, every way what to write. They sat and decided. There they decided, no, we should write about our culture, about our natives, about our language. So then only we can start to preserve our own cultures. We may not aware of it, we may not experience it. Our coming generation, our future generation, they will lose complete connection if we did not tell these things to the future generation in a form of this poetry, in a form of this literary forms. They will lose that connection. We should not let them lose it. And then they started writing it. The block is beautiful. The word block is beautiful. They emerged these kind of slogans during the period of Harlem Renaissance. The black means it's a negative word, it's a derogatory word, it's an inferior word. The black here is a representing as a color, as a person, and especially within the persons, the gender wise, women also. They are considering very inferior people, secondary people, not even secondary people, they're considered as the slaves. These people voice did not have any recognition or any consideration. So they decided themselves, there are no people to take care of us. At least we should take care of ourselves and we should write about ourselves. Our future generation will take forward this to the further level. So that's why we should write about our own language and English language, and we should protect and preserve our cultures. We should collect the memories of forefathers, our last generations, and we should collect them and we should incorporate them in the characters, in the backgrounds, in the situations, in the context of the every literary form. So this was they decided and discussed during this period of a time. So that is why this is called as a Harlem Renaissance. Harlem Renaissance is also called as a New Negro Movement. If you look at here, this information is there on the page number 141. There are the couple of writers they mentioned about the Afro-American writers. These people have given a lot of information and a lot of contribution to the Afro-American literature. So this was about Harlem Renaissance. This is very important concept here. And another one, yeah, on the page number 142, if you look at, these are the important writers from the Harlem Renaissance. They emerged. Langston Hughes, for example, a very important person. On page number 142, if you look at, you will have the five people here. Major writers of Harlem Renaissance: Alain Leroy Locke, father of Harlem Renaissance. The Locke has been distinguished as the father of Harlem Renaissance. Locke's anthology, The New Negro, an interpretation of Negro life, was a publication of fiction, poetry, and essays focusing on African American and African literature. Locke raised overall awareness of a black equality and fair treatment of, and ridiculed white supremacy. Of course, they talked about the white supremacy. This is always there since it is a race study, because the Africans or Americans or the white people, they always dominated and suppressed these black people. And here, another person important, Langston Hughes, 1901 to 1967, one of the important person, a major figure in the Harlem Renaissance. James Mercer, Langston Hughes was a prolific writer from a young age. These are his contributions. And Jean Thomer, Nella Lawson, Jean Thomer, Nella Lawson. These are the five people emerged from the Harlem Renaissance. And the next important topic is the American fiction of post-World War 43. If you look at there is a match the following and fill in the blanks. These answers are available end of this unit. And postmodern American fiction. Another one is one thing. What is the last generation and what is this or that? Harlem Renaissance or last generation. And other important things, there may be one or two or three bits may come from this unit, the fill in the blanks or match the following. So those are very important. And here in the page number 145, 10.6, African American women's fiction of 20th century. African American women's fiction of 20th century. Here on page number 146, there is a detail. So one famous person is the Toni Morrison. She is the first black woman who got the Nobel Prize for her book Bluest Eye, E-Y-E-I, Bluest Eye. She is the first American woman, Afro-American woman or African American woman to receive the Nobel Prize for literature. In 1993 it happened, and this is about her biography, and this is about her and her contribution to the literature. Toni Morrison, what kind of books she has written. Here it is in the third paragraph and the last paragraph. This is about Toni Morrison. You can read. She is an important person. And here you look at this first two, three sentences. First two sentences in the page number 146 here. Later decades of the 20th century witnessed an increase in literary output by African American women writers. And more importantly, they started to write with a new zeal, exploring issues like domestic violence, sexuality, racism, harassment, and oppression. This period witnessed the emergence of writers such as Nikki Giovanni, Sonia Sanchez, Maya Angelou, and Margaret Walker, Shirley Ann Williams. There's a lot of people here. Toni Morrison, Alice Walker, Gloria Naylor. But you should write these things. This is the time period that they started write about the American life as an individual level and the social level, especially domestic violence, racism, and harassment and oppression. And another important person, Alice Walker. Alice Walker. Now we are going to study her novel. Her famous novel is Color Purple. The Color Purple. It's an award-winning book, National Book Award, and Pulitzer Prize. She got for this book, Pulitzer Prize for fiction, The Color Purple. And she is the African American writer, a woman, to win the Pulitzer Prize for in fiction. She is also a first person to win a Pulitzer Prize for her book called The Color Purple. And this is her story, where she born and her education and her development, her activities, especially she participated in civil rights movement, and there she met Martin Luther King Jr. and returned to the American South as an activist in the civil rights movement. The Martin Luther King, you may remember that name. There is a poem called I Have a Dream. I Have a Dream. Yeah, this is about her. And another one is the Gloria Naylor. Gloria Naylor. She is also American woman, American African woman. This is about her book, Gloria Naylor. And yeah, that's it. That's it. And please look at this fill in the blanks and match the followings. These are very, very important. Very, very important from this unit. You may get 2-3 bits from this unit especially. And another important short answer questions is what is the Harlem Renaissance and what is lost generation. That's it. And now I am looking at this 12, unit 12. I'm talking about the Alice Walker's The Color Purple. Page number 161. Page number 161. Alice Walker's The Color Purple. Color Purple is a novel. Alice Walker is the first who got the Pulitzer Prize for her fiction. For this book, she got a Pulitzer Prize. She is the first Afro-American woman who got the Pulitzer Prize. And in this book, we are going to look at. You read the summary. You read the summary. It's there in the page number 161. In the page number 161, it is giving her birth details and her grown up and how she participated in political movements, especially the civil rights movements, along with the Martin Luther King and her husband, her lifestyle and her literary contribution as given in the page number 162. And page number 163, it is discussing.
164 about summary, sir. 164 has summary, and that is introduction of the book, and before it is introduction about the writer.
Yes. 12.1 is the introduction of the writer.
Yes.
12.1, page number 161 is the introduction of the author.
Yes, sir.
And page 163, it is about the introduction about the book. Introduction, book, about where she got the title and why or what made her to write this, and where she inspired for these characters. Such things are discussing here in the page number 163, and 164, 165 is the 166 up to is a summary. Here it is the summary, and on the page number 167, you may get the same fill in the blanks. It's a very important fill in the blanks. Here you look at this novel is completely, it is what to say, the protagonist name is Sally. The protagonist name is Sally, and she is narrating the story in epistolary form. This novel is in the epistolary form. She is writing letters to the god. Remember, she is writing letters to the god because there are no people to listen her story. And later, she is receiving letters from her sister. Her name is Nettie. Her name is Nettie. She is receiving letters from Nettie to Sally. Sally and Nettie are the two sisters, and she married to a person called Albert. She married a person called Albert. This fellow Albert is a very brutal fellow, and yeah, you will come to know that because there are many not obscene, because since it is a literature, we can discuss, but it involves a lot of other things, the sexuality, the bodily pleasures, lot of things are written in this book, the pain, and especially this lady, the Sally, was physically abused by her father. Physically abused by her father 2 times. She got pregnant by her father. The children were left in an orphanage with a church pastor. It was a very painful story. When you look at the summary and as well as the character analysis, that time you can come to know that. And another woman is the Shug Avery. This character analysis is there in the page number 168 and 169. It continues till 171, 168 to 171. This Shug Avery is another character. She is also very important character. Avery is an unconventional person, and they had a relationship with Selig, and Shug Avery has a physical relationship, lesbian relationships. But this Shug is the girlfriend of her husband, Albert. So a lot of some human relation things are involved here. So some controversial human relations are written in this novel. And in the very beginning, she starts writing letters to the god to express her things. I'm not going to discuss the story here. I'm just introducing the concepts and the characters. And there is a character called Sophia. She is a woman because it's a woman-centric. This novel is basically focused on the woman-centric. So that is why in our textbook, all major characters are the women, except this character is Albert. Albert. Right.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, whatever these class sessions are being recorded, there is no link on the YouTube, sir. I've tried to search.
It's available.
I did not find regarding literature. There are only history, commerce, and political science subjects. Even 5th semester also.
No, it is there actually. It is there. Uh, in other day, Bindu has sent a link of one class. Just if you click on that link, you will get the 6th semester class link. Yesterday I checked. All classes links were there. If you come,
Because
are you there on WhatsApp group? Are you there on WhatsApp group?
no, sir, I'm not there in any of the groups.
Just in this group right now, there is one of our friend called. Her name is Bindu Kalyani. She is available here. Bindu Kalyani.
Co-host. Yes, sir. Co-host.
Co-host Bindu Kalyani, and just send a message or something, and she will join you.
Okay, sir. Sir, if any doubts, can I contact
My number
you?
is there. My number is there. Already given my number. I have given my number earlier. My number is there in the WhatsApp group.
Okay, sir. Actually, I have economics class also scheduled by this time, 2:30. So I was attending that classes and I missed all the literature part. And I'm very much interested in literature.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, you can get these links and you can get my number from the group which is there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, and yeah, is destructive. Whenever this, because American literature, there will be a compulsory question. If I'm not wrong, the compulsory question, but the short questions are the Lost Generation and Harlem Renaissance. And this novel, this Alice Walker's Color Purple, is very, very important novel in American literature. Remember, in earlier novels also there is a fiction; those are also important, but they are coming from exactly from the British literature. They are from British literature. This section is from American literature. This section is from American literature. So there will be a long question or short question and fill in the blanks. Compulsory, you will get questions from this block. And among this block, this Alice Walker, comparing to other novels, it is American novel. This is American novel. Within the American novel, this is Afro-American novel. Within the Afro-American novel, this is dealing with racism, women issues, and a lot of struggles, especially the oppression, suppression, the new age form of the physical relationships, human relationships, the brutality. This novel is discussing. And in a feminist perspective also, this is very, very important. Psychological perspective, this is very, very important. So that is why this novel, this Alice Walker novel, Color Purple, is very important for examination point of view. Not only for this graduation, to wherever you go up to your continuing in your further studies also, this Alice Walker novel is very, very important. This person. Yeah, in this unit, no need to discuss of much things because it is very clear in comparing to other units. They have discussed a lot of information and they summarized beautifully of the story. The summaries, they will beautifully fabricated here, written here, sorry. It is talking about the sexism, racism, blah, 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 lot of things. The love and emotional failure, searching for the physical pleasures, or searching for the identity, individual identity, and the patriarch dominance structures. These things were there in this novel. And the themes of the novel, if you look at this on page number 175, don't go there. Just I'm reading. Write a character sketch of Sally. This is important. This May, the Philomela myth. It is there in the Philomela myth. It is there where on the page number 173, Philomela myth. It's a Greek ancient story. The novel recreates the ancient story of Philomela. The archetypal narrative of Philomela is found in the Ovid, who portrays her rape and silencing. Who portrays her rape and silencing. Here, in our character, our protagonist Sally is raped by her father, and he bullied her. If you tell this to anyone, you will face serious consequences. So that's why she was being silenced. She was silent. She did not share this information to anyone. She oppressed her pain in herself, and during this course of a time, she has given birth to two children. It's a very painful practice, uh, and this is story is related to the Greek myth. Greek myth written by the Ovid myth. That kind of story is available in the page number 173. 173. And here in this novel, the structure of the novel they have given. The structure of the novel is here. Yeah, the color purple is the story of struggle for black women in an inhospitable patriarchal society for their growth, development, and progress. And here the structure of the novel, the technique of the novel is an epistolary novel because it is in the letters form. This novel, most of the novel is communicated to us, written in the form of letters. So a letters form of novel is called as a epistolary novel. A novel written in the letter format. In the letter format is called as an epistolary novel. Those things you can discuss. The first this protagonist written the letter to the god, but there is no reply. And later she wrote to the sister. She is receiving the letters from her sister. So that is why it's called as an epistolary novel. Her sister has also same problem because her brother-in-law wanted her, but she doesn't like it. She doesn't have a place to live anywhere, and she goes to Africa on a missionary work. Yeah, such things were there with her sister. Another important theme is the violence. The entire novel is the violence. Violence in all five characters, you can see this violence. Sally, Shug Avery, Sophia, and Nettie. These five characters are suffering the violence and patriarchal dominance. The brutally abused. The Sally is abused by her father, abused by her husband. She had a small hope that at least I can lead my beautiful life with my husband. That person is worse than her father. He was given a very bad treatment, and she brutally rapes her and beats her. She did not take care of her. She lost her interest in the life. Sally. Such kind of experiences she was facing. When she met this person, her husband brought her old girlfriend. Her name is Shug Avery. Earlier, she doesn't like her. She also tries to harass her, but slowly she realized and they developed a good companionship and they made a another kind of relationship later. And Sophia is another female character. This is her brother's wife. Her brother name is the Hapro. So Selig's brother name is Hapro. This person also tries to dominate like her father, like his father. His father, uh, his father is dominating all the women. So same as he wanted to dominate. So, but this lady doesn't like this, and she left him. She went and find out another boyfriend, and there is a relationship, something like that. It goes on. The theme of violence in the every character. If you look at on the page number 172, the female body becomes the site of this violence. Since it cannot transgress societal and familial norms, speak transgress by asking her white uncle for help. The block blood. These are the terms you can use. You read this, especially this unit in this entire textbook. This unit is very comfortably, very lucidly, and systematically. They have discussed each and every point, so you will understand a lot of things. Yeah, that is what I can say in this unit. Race, gender, and nation in the color of purple. This is also same thing related to the Sally. If you look at here, dear God, I am 14 years old. I have always been a good girl. Maybe you can give me a sign of letting me know what is happening to me. So these kind of sentences is the beginning sentences of this book. And this novel begins with when the Sally was 14 years old and ends she is at 30 years old. 14 years to 30 years old. So that means 15, around 15 years or 16 years of life story, lifetime. This novel covered from all aspects, from different mindset of people, and different set of oppressions and suppression, emotionally, psychologically, bodily. So this is what this novel is discussing in this unit, because Alice Walker, two times no need to discuss, because already she is there in the introductory chapter, and her biographical information is available on the page number 161 to 162. She is a writer, activist. She is a writer and activist. Another novel in the American literature is my voice audible? Hello?
No, sir, it's breaking.
It's breaking.
Yes, sir.
How is now?
Now also
Still
the same,
breaking?
sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, good.
Now, okay, sir.
Now okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. And another novel is page number 151, unit 11. Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby. There is a movie on YouTube, it is available. The Great Gatsby, you can watch. The color purple also is available on I think on YouTube. Great Gatsby. This is a movie. A movie is available based on this novel, and this is also one of the important novel. There are many characters and many things involved in this novel. This is representing an era called jazz music. Jazz era novel. This is jazz era. And this novel is discussing about the racism and new age development. There are many characters. There are many characters in this novel. The protagonist name is Jay Gatsby, and this novel is discussing about the class, race, and social status, upward mobility. Upward mobility. The people wanted to move further. If they are not getting the status, people will come and pretend, oh, we are coming from this royal family, aristocratic family. We have this kind of a legacy. So when they claim themselves from an aristocratic family, they will get a name and a respect in the society. If the people cannot get that respect, people who do not have that kind of a cultural or social legacy, aristocratic legacy, they will imitate or they will pretend, they will lie that we are also come from this kind of things to get the same kind of reputation and respect from the society. Such things were discussed in this novel, especially in the class point of view, race point of view. This novel is discussed in the era of music revolution in the America. On the page number 154, before reading the summary of this novel, the summary is very little here. If you look at on the page number 152, it is written in the four paragraphs, but these four paragraphs will help you. Before reading the summary, you should read the page number 154 to 156. Page number 154 to 156. You will get six important characters of this novel. Page number 154 to 156. The Jay Gatsby is one of the protagonists. Sorry, is one of the protagonists or one protagonist is a young man in a difficulty, poverty-stricken condition. He fails to complete his education because of his financial problem. Later, while serving in the army, he meets Daisy, with whom he falls in love. Gatsby knows that she is from an upper class family, so he hides his own social background from her. They decided to get married, and she promises that she will wait for him as he leaves for the First World War. Her promise does not remain strong for long, and she gets married to Tom Bohannon. Is another guy? Is another person? And if you look at that relationship, about this Daisy Buchanan, Buchanan. She is the love interest of Jay Gatsby in the earlier, and his cousin Nick Carraway. She is charming, graceful, and she carries an aura bestowed by her social class. She promises to marry Gatsby, but does not keep it and gets married to Tom Bohannon. And now read this person, 11.4.4, the Tom. He is the husband of Daisy and known to Nick Carraway from college days. He keeps a mistress with the knowledge of his wife. So this is important in the sense. This is important in the sense to understand his psychology, understand his nature, and understand the kind of relationships they maintain in a aristocratic society, in a aristocratic upper class society. Her name is Myrtle. Her name is Myrtle. He beats her up and breaks her nose because she happens to say something that displeases him. Because this person is coming from a arrogant nature, he expects the woman to only please him. He doesn't like the displeases. That kind of a nature, physical violence and aggression. That is his nature. So this person married the Daisy. The Daisy is a very beautiful lady, and the for the Mirti, you can see that on the 11.4 is a lower class woman. Why she is a mistress to Tom? Because of her lower class. Lower class woman who aspires to live a life of upper class. This is the problem. Upward mobility. In sociology, someone says you have a class, you have a lesson. This upward mobility. The people who are from the lower class wanted to become the upper class. So there is an upward mobility by acquiring something. But some people are always in the upper class because of their social cultural legacy. So these are the social stratification we are living in. The same kind of social stratification that is existed in the American society, same kind of approaches they are also practicing to get a better life. But unfortunately, they are not getting it. Even though outward, we can see them they're enjoying or they are getting the reputation. But within themselves, they know that they are struggling to get it, but actually they are not reached up to that level. Such things this novel is discussing. And another character is the Nick Carraway. Nick Carraway. You can read this character and the ending. So you can understand. The natures of this character through their natures of these characters. What kind of lifestyle they want to lead, and what kind of social and cultural background was existing, especially during the period of the First World War, and what are the people's expectations and what they want to become and why they want it become. These kind of things you will come to know. Then read this little summary on the page number 152. Then you will have a complete idea of what this Gatsby is talking about. This Great Gatsby is talking about the characters in the novels are from different social backgrounds. Daisy is an upper class woman, while Marley is a lower class woman. Their life experiences are different, and the novel captures these differences especially. The characters complement one another. In other words, the presence of one character helps to evaluate the other character in a more effective manner. Jay Gatsby is a passionate, while Tam Bahanan is a cold-hearted. Through the characters in the novel, Fitzgerald has shown the social condition and the moral depravity of 1920s America. So the novel setting is 1970s. This is the time period, the First World War time period. And it talks about the different cities in the America, different lifestyle in the American within the American cities, New York, Manhattan, Ohio, from their places, how these people are made up themselves with their aspirations and ambitions. So this is what this novel is discussing. On the page number 151, this giving the details of the author and his contribution to the literature and his considerable works, especially our novel. It is published, The Great Gatsby is published in the 1925. At present, this novel is regarded as one of the greatest novels ever written. But during the time of its publication, it did not do a good business. That period of time, the people were not care of it, but now it is considered one of the great classics in the literature. And if you have the time, you can watch the movie also. Yes, this is about this Great Gatsby. First, read the characters in this unit. I am suggesting you read the characters. Reading character list is first you read the Gatsby character, J. Gatsby, then read the Daisy, and then Tom, then Myrtle, then Nick Carraway, and then Jordan Bacon. So this is in this series. If you read, you can understand. You can understand their nature and their living lifestyle and their places and how they meet each other. And then later you read the summary of the Great Gatsby on the page number 1. Yes, yeah, that's it from this unit. Any doubts from this unit? Any doubts from this unit?
No, sir.
Fine. I'm winding up.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hello. 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 Hello.
Hello.
Today is our last class or tomorrow?
Today.
Today only. Sir has given important.
No, tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
He'll give tomorrow.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I thought. Oh, thanks.
Hello. Kalyani, are you listening? Okay. सर रख के क्या चैट कर रही नहीं खाने गेम आ गए
ఉండే సినిమాలే మెగా సూపర్ గుడ్ ఫిల్మ్స్ నుంచి ఇప్పటివరకు వచ్చే సూపర్ గుడ్ ఫిల్మ్స్ నుంచి వచ్చిన సినిమాలని అలాంటి ఓలోకి ఈ సినిమా కూడా చెందింది. సో డెఫినెట్ గా మీరు అందరూ ఎంజాయ్ చేస్తారు, ఎడ్జ్ ఆఫ్ ద సీట్ లో ఉంటారు. లాస్ట్ వరకు హుక్ ఏం జరుగుతుంది